Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Friday morning, the 17th of October. I nearly said December then, in my head I thought December, but anyhow, we're going back to Nova Scotia, to the case of missing siblings 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan from Lansdowne Station. Global News have released a short article and a little interview with a member of the not-for-profit organisation Please Bring Me Home. They've picked up on the fact that they are going to be joining the search. These are a volunteer group. We talked about them a little bit the other day when they released a statement from Malaya. One of their members read out the statement. Global News has picked up on it, which is great. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to read the article, listen to the news piece, but I also want to talk about the timeline once again. If you know my videos, if you've followed me across different cases, you'll know that I'm a timeline person. If the timeline doesn't work, I've got a problem. And this timeline, it could work. It could work if we assume that the kids went missing earlier than Malaya and Daniel originally had the world believe. The magic 20 minutes was brought into the narrative, that it was around 9:40 when Malaya or Daniel or both realised that they hadn't heard the kids. 20 minutes later, Malaya calls the cops. In the meantime, Daniel is out like Speedy Gonzales in culverts, in creeks, around the roads, in the woods. Oh, he's running all over the place like Jack Flash. And that all happened in 20 minutes, the magic 20 minutes. But I believe, and I've said this all along, I've said this since the release of the dispatch audio, that Daniel and Malaya know full well that Lilly and Jack were missing far longer than just 20 minutes or just over 20 minutes, as was the original statement. But the RCMP know the real times. And this is all assuming we're believing the scenario where Lilly and Jack went off into the woods and got lost. And that's a big assumption. But that's the working theory that RCMP are going with. So there's that. All right, are we going to talk about it? Yeah, go on then. Before we get into this, you know what I'm going to say? If you're not yet subscribed, please do so. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I had a little jump in subscribers yesterday, which is fantastic. Thank you and welcome to you all. If you are a new subscriber, subscriber increase has slowed down a little bit, so I don't think I'm going to get my goal. I want 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. There's nothing in it for me except a silver play button plaque for my wall, which would be a great Christmas present to myself, and you guys could help me get there. So get your friends, get your neighbours, get your relatives to subscribe. It's completely free, and you know what? They might enjoy my videos. So what's not to love about that? It's a win-win. Okay, this is the article by Global News. It's not very long. We're going to read this first and then we're going to listen to the 2-minute news piece. A volunteer missing persons group is joining the search for Lilly and Jack Sullivan, a pair of siblings who disappeared from rural Nova Scotia more than 5 months ago. The ideal solution is we locate them, said Nick Oldgrieve, co-founder of the not-for-profit group Please Bring Me Home. We've got to find these kids. Yes, and somebody needs to find them. Oldgrieve says the group's goal is to shake the tree when it comes to the investigation. Maybe it implores somebody to send in a tip if they know something, or the search efforts continue and they're found in those woods. Lilly and Jack, aged 6 and 4, as we know, were reported missing on May 2nd, 10:01 a.m. by their mother, Malaya Brooks-Murray, from their home in Lansdowne Station. The children's family said the siblings wandered away that morning from the home, which is situated in a heavily wooded area. Yeah, well, Malaya has said that Lilly and Jack wander a lot, And it has very recently come out that, according to Daniel at least, and if you believe a word he says, well, good luck with that, but he says that Malaya has lost Jack twice before. We've talked about this just yesterday, so go and check out yesterday's video. RCMP said that the North East Nova Major Crimes Unit is still following up and assessing more than 860 tips, 860 video files and forensic testing. In September, 2 RCMP police dogs trained in human remains detection were brought in to search a 40-kilometre area near the children's home. And we know that they did the property, 2 acres, they did the blanket site, which is around here, and they did the boot print site, which is around here. So we talked about these cadaver dogs extensively on this channel recently. This circle here is the original search area, like in square acreage. It doesn't mean that this is the exact search area, because I've just done a circle with the home in the middle. I think probably they were more over this way because of the boot prints. So it's kind of more of a, I don't know, egg shape or whatever. But that's where the cadaver dogs were searching in the main. Came all the way from British Columbia for a 3-day search, which is great, but I was disappointed that they didn't spend longer, because if Lilly and Jack wandered away, they don't need to have gone into the woods. All right, so they could have gone down the road here, up Lansdowne Road, through the piece of blanket in the tree. Look, I just don't believe that Lilly and Jack could have got that blanket in the tree, but that's where it was found. And then, if these boot prints actually were Lilly's, and we know they were same size as Lilly's, they could have just carried on walking. I mean, where were they headed is a completely different story. Were they going to school? Did they want to go to school? Like, were they bored and wanted to go to school? And this is a theory that I've had for ages, since very early on, that maybe they went to the bottom of the drive, and we know that a live scent tracker dog did go down the driveway, and maybe they waited a little while and the bus didn't come, so they decided to walk, not realising how far it was, and then just got completely lost. This is Lilly and Jack School here at Salt Springs. I'm going to put a pin in there. So if we look how far this is, it's far, but it's in the right direction that they would have been heading. Maybe they knew that they went this way. If you follow the road all the ways up, if you just keep going, you get to the school eventually. And maybe they had no appreciation of how far it was. And maybe they turned down there thinking that that was the right direction, and that's where the boot prints come from. Or maybe they were trying to go back home. I would do down here and keep going. And where would they have gone? That way, that way, that way. Or they could have gone back and gone back this way. So if they're out there, I think they're outside of the search area, honestly, at this point. But anyway, that's just me, and it's a big if. Oldrew says his group has only been involved in the case for about 5 days, but adds the children's paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray, first contacted them in May. Oldrew says, please bring me home, has had success so far in getting more information out publicly and circulating a statement that they say is from Lilly and Jack's mother, Malaya Brooks-Murray. In the statement she writes, I will never stop searching for my children until they are found and brought home safe and sound. Someone somewhere knows something, so please bring my babies home. The RCMP told Global News it's aware of Please Bring Me Home's plan for an independent search. This initiative is being organised separately from our organisation, wrote Nova Scotia RCMP spokesperson Alison Gerard. Although Malaya Brooks-Murray has confirmed authorship of a written statement, we cannot verify the accuracy of the version currently circulating on social media. Okay. In the meantime, Oldrew says his organisation is encouraging people to come forward with tips and is considering planning a physical search in November. He says it would most likely be a search of waterways in the area. Okay, interesting. It's really difficult because we've seen everything be thrown into this area for searching, but it's just an extra layer of precaution to make sure that Lilly and Jack weren't underwater while searches were happening. So we do know from the RCMP court documents that they searched Lansdowne Let, a bunch of ponds on May 8th and 9th. But it's interesting that Please Bring Me Home are concentrating on water searches. Honestly, if you've got this far, like, where are the water sources? If they're here, where are the water sources? I mean, there are ponds. There's one there. There are ponds in the area. Interesting. Let's listen to this news piece here.
So the ideal solution is we locate them. We got to find these kids.
For Nick Oldreeve of Please Bring Me Home, the goal of their involvement in the search for Lilly and Jack Sullivan, who went missing on May 2nd from their home in Lansdowne Station, is to shake the tree.
Maybe it implores somebody to send in a tip if they know something, or the search efforts continue and they're in those woods.
He says the nonprofit group has only been involved in the case for about 5 days, but adds the children's grandmother, Belinda Gray, had reached out to them back in May. Oldreeve says they've had success so far in getting more information out, circulating a statement on October 13th that they say is from Lilly and Jack's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray. She writes, "I will never stop searching for my children until they are found and brought home safe and sound. Someone somewhere knows something, so please bring my babies home." RCMP couldn't verify the accuracy of the statement circulating on social media, but know that Malaya Brooks Murray has confirmed authorship of a written statement. As for next steps, the organization is encouraging people to come forward with tips and are considering doing a search in November, adding it will most likely be a search of waterways in the area.
It's really difficult because we've seen everything be thrown at this area for searching. But it's an extra layer of precaution to make sure that they weren't underwater while searches were happening.
Nova Scotia RCMP told Global News they're aware Please Bring Me Home is planning an independent search, but add the initiative is separate from their own investigation. On October 8th, RCMP said they are still exploring all possible options in the search for Lilly and Jack. Angela Capobianco, Global News, Halifax.
Alright, so that didn't tell us anything more. Let's shake the tree a little bit here with this timeline. There was unredacted piece from the court documents that was released. So this did the rounds on social media a few days ago. And as far as I know, it only seems to be a couple of pages. I don't know who got them originally, but they've done the rounds. And we have talked about them already on this channel. But things that were originally redacted were times. So RCMP are aware that Malaya and Daniel said that Lilly and Jack were missing between 8 a.m. and 9:40 a.m. It gives us a large window. If Lilly and Jack left their home at 8, that's a full 2 hours before 911 was called, and at least 2.5 hours before searchers got on the ground, not including Daniel and Janie, who did a little run around. So how far could they have walked in 2.5 hours? Well, for an adult, a walking pace of a 15-minute mile is considered like standard. So unless you were like really briskly walking, or you were walking like a sloth, like just an average walking pace is a 15-minute mile. Now, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old, I wouldn't expect to do a 15-minute mile because they're probably zigzagging about, they're probably this way, that way. But if they're on a mission and they're going somewhere and they think they're going in the right direction, well, how far could they have got down the road? If an adult can do 4 miles in an hour, maybe a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old could do 4 miles in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It could be miles out of the search area. I don't know why everybody is concentrating on this particular one area. It seems bizarre after all this time. I guess again and again and again, as I say a lot on this channel, people are found very close to home despite many, many searches. It happens again and again and again and again. So it's perfectly possible that Lilly and Jack could still be in the area. But if they've got that 2-hour window, don't bank on it. But RCMP have been aware of this since the beginning, as have we. Because in the dispatch audio Listen to this.
Otherwise, what are the details? Have they been gone a long time? 0800. The address for the last point known.
They were last seen at 8 a.m.
0800.
What makes it interesting and gives me reason to believe that 8 a.m. is closer to the truth than 9:40 are two things. Firstly, Malaya called her mother. So May 2nd, Malaya called her mother at 8:28 a.m. Supposedly, Malaya and Daniel were in and out of sleep with Meadow all the way up till 9:40. Malaya used the school app to note them absent at 6:17 and 6:18, and then supposedly went back to bed and was like snoozing until 9:40, and then they realised that Lilly and Jack are missing. But why is Malaya calling her mother then at 8:28? So is this a call to her mother? I mean, not unduly worried at this point, but saying, I can't find the kids. What should I do? I can't find the kids. Like just calling her mother like for some moral support. So I think Lilly and Jack, if they wandered off of their own volition, I think we're gone closer to 8 than 9:40. The other thing that makes me believe this is Janie's statement. She changed her timeline. She provided two statements, May 2nd and May 5th. On May 2nd, she said she heard Lilly and Jack before the call from her brother Ron. She got a call from her brother Ron Mackenzie, 8:48, and they talked about going to town. After she was done talking to him, she went back to bed and must have dozed off after scrolling on Facebook. She originally said she might have learnt the children were gone around 8:48 before she talked to Ron. So if Malaya calls her mother at 8:28, doesn't get her mother on the phone, so then goes to Janie, I can't find the kids. And it's actually before 8:48 that Janie knows that Lilly and Jack are missing. And maybe she breaks her normal routine of going to town with Ron because Lilly and Jack are missing. But she changed her statement and said she heard the children after she spoke to Ron. She changed her statement to fit more with the 9:40 narrative. You know, saying, I spoke to Ron, I dozed off, then I heard them, then I dozed back off again, and then I heard Daniel shouting and saw Malaya in the yard. No, I think she probably heard them early. She was feeding her chickens and letting her dog out, and she went back inside and played a game on her phone. So she's awake. So she's heard Lilly and Jack, and then at 8:30 or thereabouts, she hears that the children are missing, and then Janie gets the call and says, I can't go into town because the kids are missing. So there's no dozing off. Come on now. That makes way more sense. But why they changed the story, I don't know. I suppose to the public, they might think that they sound less neglectful if they were only gone a few minutes rather than 2 hours. But it is what it is. I think that's the most likely story fitting all these pieces together. What do you think? It's a big assumption that Lilly and Jack wandered off on their own. But the cops say there's no sign of foul play, no sign of an abduction. So there's that. All right, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.